How's it going, everyone? This is a different kind of video that I decided to make for all those who are getting just into the sport of fishing. This is a fishing rig that I like to tie for whenever I'm fishing saltwater, freshwater, any kind of place that I'm just getting to know, and it comes in handy. Here's a couple things that you're going to need. Firstly, some kind of leader material. For these purposes, I'm using, well, not the thickest, but I'm using some sort of a thick line so that it's better to see for the camera. But usually you want to go with something like fluorocarbon or monofilament leader so that the fish can just stay hooked on and you get that bit of stretch. Next, you're going to want to use some kind of hook. Usually for this kind of rig, I'm using a J hook, but you could use circle hooks to reduce the amount of fish that you gut hook, or you could just use regular J hooks like me as well. And you're going to need a bank sinker. Usually these come in many different sizes and shapes, but I decide to use the bank sinkers because they do well in heavy current. They'll help you hold on to the bottom, and they'll sit on the bottom so that you could easily reel in the fish that you need, as well as keep your bait stagnant in one place. So I'm going to show you guys how to tie it now. So here's our leader line. First thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cross them over like so and make a little loop. So right now we have a little loop like that. Next, what you're going to want to do is just grab that loop and you're going to come over like so. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to form a large loop knot. This is called a double overhand knot. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can see an animated version of this knot. So what you do is you're going to come over with the loop over the tag end and your main line, and you're essentially creating a hole near your thumb like that. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the loop and put it through the hole once. So right now we're here, we put it in through once, and now we're going to go around a second time. It's usually tricky to get it down the first couple times, but you get used to it the more you tie. Now at this point what we have is we have the knot that we tied, we have the loop that we're trying to form, and we have our tag end. So what you're going to want to do now is just pull it nice and tight, and that's our first knot. This is the knot that's going to be at the bottom of our rig. So now we come up a couple inches above the line like so, and we're going to want to repeat the process. What I mean by that is you're going to want to form another loop. This is where your sinker is going to go, to the loop that we just tied, and the other end will be like where your line will be attached to your leader. So now you have two loops. We're basically essentially forming a second loop. So what you're going to want to do is make another loop. Now we're going to come over again, and we're going to do the same thing. Notice the hole that I created with my thumb? I'm just going to go in once and go in a second time. And we're just going to pull nice and tight, like so. So now what we have created so far is the sinker loop and another large loop. We're going to want to repeat the process a couple inches above those two loops and create one last loop. So let's do that. Same process, a little loop. We're going to come around like so. We're going to go in once. We're going to go in twice. And tighten. So right now what we have is we have a line with 3 loops on it. We have the sinker loop, the first hook's loop, and the second hook's loop. So this is how I like to attach the sinker. Because I made the loop, it's really easy to put on the sinker. And that's one of the things that I love most about this rig. It's really easy to do. What we do is we feed the loop through the hole of the bank sinker like so. Just like that. Feed it through the loop. And then we're going to come around the sinker just like that. Now what that allows you to do is if you tighten your line, the sinker will be stagnant and just placed on the line. The reason why this is beneficial is if you're fishing lots of rocky areas, this sinker will go into the bottom, and if by any chance if it happens to get stuck, this creates a weak point in your line so that if you happen to break off your line, you'll only break off the sinker. Majority of the time you'll end up breaking off just the sinker and you'll be able to retrieve the rest of your rig, which will be the hooks. So now we have the 2 hooks to place on the line as well. We're going to repeat the same thing. We have our hook loop right here. We're going to take our hook and we're going to feed the loop. You might have to pinch it a little bit. Don't pinch it too much, otherwise you might crimp the line, which is really bad. You're going to want to put it straight through the eye of the hook, like that. And then we're going to come around the entire hook. And at this point, we just pull. And there you go. Just like that, your first hook has been attached. Let's repeat the process for the second loop. Again, straight through, just like so, right into that, and pull tight. And just like that, we've created what is essentially a beginner's high-low rig. What we have is the end of your line will be attached to your main line. This is your leader. It'll attach to your main line, and underneath it you have 1 hook, 2 hooks, and your sinker. So what this is beneficial for is you could keep your bait a little bit elevated in the water column. What I've done with these rigs before is I'll cast them out and they'll sit on the bottom just like so. So you have your hook at the top, your hook at the bottom, and your sinker. And they'll elevate in the water column. They'll stay just above the bottom so that they move around in the current, and this will allow your bait to be seen a lot easier by the fish. I've caught a striper on this rig before. I'll put a link in the description as well as to where I caught it. And it's a very beneficial rig. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.